Shit.
Jimmer, what's up, man?
Oh, hey, babe.
How you doing?
Swell. Swollen, if you will.
Javik was first, but Germ's drinking. Germ is drinking.
I love Germ.
Jim, you drinking?
I wasn't going to, but here we are.
Hey, somebody's gonna be sober tonight. I'm gonna have some waters.
I didn't say I was going to, overdo it. I'm not going to overserve myself, but.
Yeah, is that like a split Patriots jersey, or what do you got going on there?
Oh, it's the home and away. I
Is
was,
it Tim Tebow?
Andy was giving me a little hard time because I was right in the nick of time at start time. But the truth is, it was because I couldn't find my Jets Tebow jersey. So I had to settle for my Patriots Tebow jersey.
It's excellent.
But it works out because the Patriots beat the Jets. So
Nice. So today we're talking about sports. You like
I
sports?
love sports.
Um,
Sick.
specifically, specifically sports that involve balls.
Oh,
And we're talking,
I
right?
guess there's a lot of sports about. So is that like darts is off the table?
Hmm.
Maybe
And
just
motorsports.
maybe just female darts, if you know what I mean.
Um, we do have a very awesome, amazing guest that is going to be joining us today. Jemmer, you're one of the reasons I joined So Rare. Just like you were like telling me about it, and hey, there's this
Mm-hmm.
fun game, blah 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 blah. Don't
Mm-hmm.
really know what you were telling
Yeah.
me, but
Mm-hmm.
um, this other person really got me into like the competitive side of things, and he helped kind of teach slash shapes like ideas and just bouncing stuff off of him throughout the years. So I'm gonna introduce him to everyone, the world. We got surface to air missile Sam here, big old Dodgers boy. Look at him.
Oh, the Dodgers lad.
I hope you're going to edit some intro music over this.
Oh,
What kind of entry music would you like?
Anything badass.
We could do like a basketball announcer type thing. Like I'm sure Jimmer's got that in him.
The intro music to the
uh,
previous SD pods has been amazing.
oh, yeah. No, we're not that mature yet here.
Not that mature. We don't have that production quality that Laird has. We don't have that. We don't have that money that Laird has.
I was gonna give you like a Game of Thrones title, like two-time winner of Asia Rare Pro, seller of super rares, hoarder of. I don't know. That's about it. That's all I got. I didn't create it. I didn't come up with anything.
Hoarder of legends, I think.
Hoarder of legends. Oh, dude,
Yeah.
you got to get the $5 from the Academy. Screw limited 240. Just buy legends and play Academy.
Thinker up of special weeklies. Inventor of shitlers.
Shitulers
Disputed inventor.
I think it's
Co-inventor?
It's not even disputed. You definitely didn't invent it, Sam. Okay, it's I think a collective effort from a group of people.
I thought it in my mind before it was ever said.
Well, that's true about everything for me.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it was in my brain first. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sam,
So I was just gonna say, Andy introduced you as somebody who got you into So Rare, and I think both of our referrers is Mark YNWA because we played the baseball game. But really, the reason we started playing was Sam. Sam was all up in our DMs, like, you guys got to play this. And we were like, fuck off, Sam. I don't want to play Belgian league soccer.
I hate doing the whole like, Sam, tell us your journey into So Rare, but I know that your entry into So Rare, a big part of it was a gallery purchase to kind of get yourself going. Do you want to just kind of share what got you going, why you thought it was interesting, and where you're at now, and how you're just crushing everyone?
Briefly, sure. Started in the summer of 2019, bought a few cards, started getting into it. The baseball bobblehead product that we were all in was definitely sinking ship. I was selling off my gallery there. I was taking a lot of flack for that. realized that Belgian soccer was not horrible to watch, and purchased a outgoing members gallery in a pretty disputed transaction that pissed off another member who I won't name, or nor can I remember.
No.
We
We
were
don't
both
do that. We do not do that on this show. We name names.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and look and see who it was, but it was rather large. It was like a 6 ETH purchase, which was a huge amount of money at the time when ETH was a whopping $200.
It felt like a
And
lot more.
yeah, it felt like a lot at the time. And yeah, that pretty much got me steamrolling from there.
Who was the person that you pissed off when you bought that gallery? That's what I want to know.
I can't remember who it was. Somebody was he had agreed to an offer, but that person was getting the ETH together, and I came in and undercut him, but had the
Ooh.
ETH on hand.
Hey,
Swooper.
cash money.
Purchaser of galleries.
I
We're
mean,
gonna add it to the
it-
title.
it definitely had the Hans Van, I think had 2 Hans Van Aken super rares at the
Oh
time.
my word.
That was like
two?
I think it had 2.
Do you have either of them anymore?
Oh yeah, definitely. I have one of them, and it is, if you go to my gallery, pops up in the top right hand corner as my best card as far as winnings goes. It's up. I'm hoping to get to the 100th reward this year with it. Well, next calendar year. We'll see.
It's weird to look at like an OG person's gallery, like, I don't know, Mark, just any of us guys that were there early, and to not see Vanaken in the top right hand corner. Like, Jimmer, isn't yours somebody else?
I think mine might be Mignolet. Let me look. But Sam's got 79 rewards. Oh no, mine is the Lord. He has risen, Hans Van Aken.
I think
Yeah,
mine is
he's not only the most rewards that I've won, just the sexiest man.
Oh yeah, I mean that dark blue 2018 super rare is it's just tough to beat.
I wasn't even here yet in 2018. I've got the 19 version, the 20th mint.
I mean, I got this from Aki. He was the guy who I bought the gallery off of, and he lived in India, and he had to sell because there was a looming ban on cryptocurrency.
That's what most.
What does that
people
even
do.
mean? A ban on cryptocurrency? Something that's decentralized, unregulated. Like, how do you ban it?
There's a decent chance he was trying to pull the sympathy card in the pricing of his gallery.
Oh. It would have definitely been that. Definitely would have been the story had everything fallen apart and it was a bad purchase.
Yeah, worked out pretty fucking good for you. All right, so we're gathered here today to talk about other sports. No more soccer talk. No more. Maybe a little bit more.
I'm pretty sure it'll happen.
I want to pick Sam's brain on goalkeepers later, but let's talk about that
hours.
Little after hours stuff for sure. Let's talk about baseball and basketball. Let's start with baseball because it's in season right now. I purchased a ton of cards last season. And when I say a ton of cards, I bought enough to not compete in the super rare division, but just like submit lineups, compete pretty hard in the rare division and the limited divisions. But all I do is realistically, all I do is play like St. Louis stacks, like my Cardinals. That's who I support, it's who I want to root for. I just play them every week. This year, I bought like a grand total of like 3 cards the entire season. Because why do I need to buy more cards? Are you guys kind of in the same boat with baseball?
Jimmer?
I'll answer first. I bought cards this season because I wanted to start.
And Molina don't count.
They absolutely count. How is it not buying a card?
Because they're both retired.
Doesn't matter. It's buying a card. But that's not what I was talking about, but that is true. I bought a handful of like super rares to try to like launch pad myself into playing super rare. Just because we're playing baseball. Everybody's playing baseball right now. with the hope that it turns into what football became or soccer became, right? There's a lot of parallels to the beginning of MLB and how many people are playing, how much the cards are worth. And I think the only reason why people are upset is just because there's another product over here where you win a card that's worth 400 pounds or dollars, and the same tier 2 is worth 20 over here. But that was like literally the first 2 years of Sorare soccer. So I'm I was trying to do what I didn't do in soccer, which was actually buy some super rares earlier and then you can play. So that's what I did buy this year, and I did have some pretty good success. But ultimately, I have Cardinals, and the Cardinals are very bad. So, but I mean,
It was hard to win with Cardinals this year.
yeah,
And the funny thing is Sam has a lot of Cardinals too. Like
yeah, Arenado's done. Don't you have Arenado? Super
I
rare?
do. Yeah.
And then Andy, you got one too.
I did.
I mean, if the question is, have you bought 2023 cards? It depends on when you asked. I mean, up until a month ago, I hadn't. But in the last few weeks, I've bought about 30, 40 cards.
Son
But
of a bitch.
with the caveat of what I'm thinking is eventually going to be, collection scores are going to be pretty important. So I went and bought a crap ton of rares and a bunch of limiteds to kind of finish off some collections, get that bonus score going.
You got roped in a little bit to the whole idea that the collection, the limited cards were going to boost like your rares and super rares, right?
I thought so. Yeah. I mean,
And
I
then
definitely, but that was a very inexpensive mistake because I just bought a bunch of limiteds for nothing.
to be fair, it wasn't a mistake. They communicated what the change was going to be, and then they rolled it back.
Sure. I should have known at the time of how stupid it was that it was not going to last. I mean, there was the signal, like, this is stupid, but I bit anyway.
Yeah. So those purchases were purely for collection score, not to like enhance lineups in any ways.
Purely collection score.
Is there a reason that neither of you guys really bought cards this year?
I just said I did.
Yeah. Well, what? Some super rares and then Molina's.
Yeah, I mean,
Imperials.
of course. The whole platform is based off not having to like continuously buy cards, which is the whole sustainability question. But
Well, I'd argue in soccer that you have to continuously move in and out of cards.
I mean, I didn't say I was buying football cards either. I think it's similar. So, but to your answer, yes, mostly I haven't really bought a ton of cards, and that's because I have a lot of the original year cards, and Daddy likes those the best.
I mean, I get what you're saying. My specific case is potentially a bit on the more unique side because I bought so many in the first month, unfortunately. And, it's like saying, well, if you buy every card at the beginning, do you need to buy more cards? No, you don't. So that's one of the reasons why I hadn't bought more cards. Although I considered a couple purchases for the special All-Stars at the special super rare competition they introduced last month, but in the end decided not to make any more purchases for now. I might buy a couple cards for playoffs.
Talking about American and National League Super Rare?
Yeah. I kind of had,
I just
fringe team.
I just bought Jordan Walker Super Rare.
Ooh, nice. I like that card.
Was that Orange Fly that won that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a card I don't own yet. Like even his rare limited, like I need to probably own a Jordan Walker.
That was the only card I spent on a one of. Love it.
But the auction rate is so low that if you do actually want to buy a card and there isn't a manager selling it, you got to like start asking people.
I hate talking to people.
Oh, yeah. I think a big part of it, or part of the problem, is there's really no reason to need to purchase cards. Like I went through the entire season, didn't really need to. Obviously, my results suffered, but there was no like hook to make me want hook to make me want to buy cards. They're not giving away either enough prizes or there's just very little desire on my part to just go try to win something.
Yeah, I mean, clearly it varies from person to person. For you, if there had been, significantly better return on, rewards, you probably would have considered buying a few more cards to kind of round out your good lineups, right? And for me, it's like I kind of had pretty much, every possible, you know, potential good matchup. There's a few of the superstars I've faded. Like I don't have any Judge, I don't have any Harper, I don't have any real Acuñas. I've eliminated. So it was a conscious decision just at the beginning not to get those. So maybe it makes sense for me to pick up those at some point. But for different reasons for both of us, but we're both in the same boat as is most of the current users. There isn't a lot of motivation to buy new cards. It's kind of tough.
What's the motivation to buy new cards on the soccer side?
Well,
Same
like
thing.
No,
Just
it's
more
completely different because you have all these different competitions running at once. You have like this weekend, there's like what 8 challenger teams playing or something. So you might have 3 challenger players, and you might want to buy 2 more guys to round up out a lineup there.
Yeah.
And that's going 365 days of the year. You have little spots like that, like MLS right now. What is there 4 teams playing this midweek? So you always
Yeah.
have these little spots where you have some teams playing and other teams not.
But similarly, there's teams throughout the MLB season that have 5-game weeks or 4-game weeks in the midweek. That if like you're doing that
But is
because
it
you want to try to like do matchups or build out a lineup.
for me? It's as simple as have a lineup or don't have a lineup. Like
Yeah.
like I buy a card in soccer to have a lineup, and in baseball I can just play a guy that has 3 games instead of 4.
And you're
I mean,
losing.
for me and the size of my soccer gallery, it has a lot to do with kind of just, who's in form, but not just that, like what teams are in form. There's much more variability in soccer and between all the different leagues as to who's doing well at what time. And it's like, okay, coming into this year, like I'm going to need some Leverkusen guys because they're just killing it. And so I'm going to have to buy some. Whereas like last year, I could pretty much avoid that team, for the most part, except for 1 or 2 players. And so there's just for me, there's that constant kind of, you're searching for who's going to work with my gallery. What do I need to kind of, get me to that podium, especially for rares and somewhat for super rares. So.
And kind of as you said there, like you have so many situations during transfer windows where you don't really see it in baseball, where like a guy goes from the Cardinals to the Yankees, and now you have to own him. Like he's in the sexiest spot ever. He's gonna smash. Like you always hear that in soccer. He's gonna go to Ajax and smash. You don't hear that in baseball.
Yeah, I mean it's a very individual sport.
Or a team gets relegated and they're gonna smash second division.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's kind of
never happens.
The nature of the beast. Go ahead. Yeah.
What if they introduce minor league baseball?
They should. So one of the reasons why people are buying cards is because it's a pretty speculative market, right? Like you're probably buying cards for some of those sweet moves or where they might go, where they might smash or whatever, but that's just not in a single league format, then that doesn't really run wild.
I want to buy that 38-year-old minor league journeyman that just smashes like 25 homers and double or A or triple A every year, and then like that guy's perfect for my gallery.
Minor leagues are tough though. I mean, certain minor leagues are like very pitching heavy. Certain ones are hitting heavy. It depends. You have to really know your stuff and add a lot more research to the game.
I wouldn't know my stuff, but I still think it would be so good for the product and I would buy that shit.
Maybe. Well,
you would. You would.
I think the best thing it would be is just for the prospects, right?
I think it'd be like second division Europe. You'd kind of hold your nose and dive in.
That's a good way.
If you don't, there's that guy who will. He's gonna kick your ass.
Is that it's
a Pujols Molina
Japanese professional baseball?
Oh, this one.
Is that?
I'm for it.
JP Nippon professional baseball?
Yeah. I don't know 100% what he's saying there, but I think
let's look it up.
I'm not looking anything up right now.
Oh my God, Germ, you animal.
But I think one of the big issues is they branded both of these deals as MLB and NBA, and I don't know if that prevents them from doing some of these other things.
Seems like a technicality.
Yeah, I mean they kind of closed that door with the supply, right? They
I
made a
mean, I'm
pretty
sure
bold
the
statement
MLB
early.
deal is based on they have to pay a certain percentage of, licensing fees. And if they say, hey, we could have a bigger pot if we add another league, will you let us? Of course. They'd be dumb not to, especially if they're after this year where it seems like sales are low.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Uh,
kind of reminds me a little bit of like the MLBC deal where it was just like I don't know. The end of that, I'm sure the MLB like partner people were just like, oh yeah, this is fucking going nowhere. This is not working out. And I'm getting those vibes a little bit from the Sorare team where it's like they're very apathetic about uh, the product.
Yeah, but that was Elucid had a whole nother level of incompetence.
Sure,
I would
agreed.
imagine just in like regular communications, they quickly figured out that these people were idiots.
Yeah,
I thought like pretty deep into MLB Champions, there was like the MLB partner guy was tweeting about it and was like stoked about it. Did I misremember that? Like I
no,
thought
you
he was,
did.
yeah, which was like potentially bullshit. He was just trying to like, I don't know, because there was never more than like 1,500 people playing that game. Um,
That guy tweeted like remember how they had the AR thing on the app? He did like that at like it was like a World Series game or something.
sick.
He put like his guy on the field, just like we were doing with Sorare cards, you know.
Yeah, I went to a baseball game trying to do that, and it wouldn't fucking show up. It wouldn't like recognize it as as like a flat surface. I was so pissed off
Hmm.
because I
What
was
do you
gonna
think about the ultra low supply though
the ultra low supply of
of
the
MLB cards?
MLB champions or
No,
MLB.
of
Oh,
Sorare.
yeah. I mean I think that's the best approach to whatever. I mean, they need to get more people playing it, right? But they're not. They're like hoping people will come just in its current scenario, and it's like if you build it, they will come. Like they have to keep innovating and bringing people in, but they're just like product's done. They're gonna show up someday.
So the big argument that I see is from Mark. You'll never walk alone, and he keeps saying that they need to increase supply. Is kind of what at least the vibe I'm getting from him is he seems to think that they need to increase the supply so there's more cards out there so that more people will be interested. I think I actually disagree with that. I think that they need to protect the supply a little bit because they're not having new users come in, and I don't think if they mint 100 Mike Trouts, that means more people are going to want to play the game.
Well, I mean, there's an aspect of like barrier to entry. I don't know if they have data on that of like people coming in and just getting turned away by the prices because that would be Mark's argument. But I mean, if they lowered it to what the soccer supply is and then actually minted more of them, I think that would be more popular.
Yeah.
Like let the people who are playing now have the early adopter advantage and getting lower prices based on the supplies and
One of the problems too is that the early adopters, like the chance of us getting a boom that helps us is pretty small because even if they did have a huge influx of new users, they have a huge amount of supply they can just mint, based on the different scarcity numbers.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean they should do that. They shouldn't let the prices go wild. Um,
Trust
My
me, they
my
won't.
overall sense is whatever sustainable issue they come up with on the football side, whether it be some type of season pass, some type of expiration of your guy usage, some type of advertisements or whatever they do, could hopefully work for baseball too. And if that's the case, then
yeah.
sky's the limit.
I think this plays into Andy's interest. The double D, the sweet chest of So Rare. I thought that said the fact hits too hard. It said the fact it's too hard to win T1s. Probably turns a few. Yeah, that's probably what you're feeling, Andy, because that's like I don't care really how much they're worth as much as just like winning better cards, and it's very,
Yeah,
very difficult
you
to win
don't like
anybody that's going to improve your lineups.
you don't really care to win a relief pitcher or even a starter just doesn't like give me Judge, give me Otani, give me like
Yeah.
they really need to like hone in that tier one pool.
Or they need to change the design where it actually makes it interesting to play the non T0 players. The problem is that right now, so many people are playing the T0, T1s in comparison to the soccer side, where you see all these lineups that don't have those types of players in it, but pretty much everyone's playing the same 20 guys, at least people who are winning. And so they just make more of those. It's just going to make the leaderboard so homogeneous. It's just, I don't know. They
Yeah.
need to add more design elements to the game, I think, that make you want to have more relief pitchers, make catchers actually useful.
25-man game card.
I knew you were gonna say that.
The all catcher weekly.
Yeah, I mean anything. It seems so easy. Just like to your point, make it variable as to people setting lineups. Do the stuff that we've seen before, which is a nationality. I mean, there's probably not as many in baseball. You got like 3 major nationalities.
You could do it.
Yeah. They need a G-Day
White American
threshold.
males. I mean, but I think that there's
Gonna
enough.
get canceled. Second episode.
Right. I think that there's enough players from all parts of the world. You could figure something out. You could do US versus internationals, and you could do something like that. Sort of
That
like
would work.
World Baseball Classic almost. Lots of ideas there. I think like a catcher only weekly would be funny, and I say funny, but I think people would play it, and people would probably buy catchers, and then the rewards are only catchers, of course, right? Or starting pitchers.
Or as I mentioned before, the over 30 weekly.
Baseball, that's like almost everyone though.
Yeah.
The over 34 weekly.
And over 250 pounds.
The all lefty hitter weekly.
I mean, these are ideas that frankly like are better than anything that they've come up with the entire year.
They're certainly ideas.
Would you play it? Would you buy a left-handed pitcher to go into one of those lineups?
If they had a rotating menu of interesting weeklies, I would be more open to owning more cards. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
Jim?
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's get some community involvement too. Like, hey, you win a weekly, you get to pick the next weekly. Like, that'd be a sweet prize.
Yeah, I like that too. I like that a lot. Would those data elements be on the cards? Like, is left-handed pitcher on? Like, is that? It's not an attribute.
Oh, I don't know if it's an attribute like in the API, but it's not on the card. They don't have handedness on the card.
I think it would need to be in the API for them to like.
I would
build around it,
assume
right?
I would assume they use like MLB data, and I'm pretty sure it's in their API.
Changing speeds a little bit to another sport. Basketball. Do you guys think we'll see similar levels of, I'm going to call it care from their product team regarding basketball? Do you think that they care more? I'll give this one to you, Sam, the special guest. Will they care more about basketball than baseball?
I mean, based solely on the fact that Laird is interviewing one of the product managers tomorrow, right? Why'd you?
I don't know.
Is that a surprise? Oh yeah, on one of his shows, it feels like they're making themselves more available.
What's tomorrow? Tuesday?
Is it Tuesday or Thursday?
Yeah. Tuesday. So what show's on Tuesday?
I have no idea
whatever he wants.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Office hours is Wednesday, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Seems like, I don't know. Is that the limited show on Tuesdays?
Oh, yeah, maybe.
It's Thursday. the interview with Kate Schrumpf is Thursday. So, but also it feels like there was quite a bit more users. So, and I'm assuming more income. Seems logical. Maybe they would give it a little bit more thought. I mean, it feels like there's some non-baseball people involved with baseball. Maybe they're like NBA sloppy seconds.
Yeah. I mean, one piece of that is if they build things in basketball, maybe that will simplify things and allow them to transfer them over to like the baseball product.
Did you play basketball last year?
I did.
Did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it more than baseball.
Oh, okay, interesting.
But
Really?
yes, caveat. I thought the sweats were better in basketball because a lot of things came down to like how do I explain this? In baseball, you have like the one moment where the guy either hits a home run or he doesn't or whatever. But it happens so rarely. Like
Oh, whoa.
it's like every 30 minutes or something.
Yeah, you said so rare.
Oh, so rarely, yeah.
Yeah,
But it happens like a guy comes up to bat like every 30, 40 minutes or something. But with basketball, like if I'm watching my point guard play, he's got the ball in his hands for like 30 plus minutes a game. Just feels like
Yeah.
there's more in it for me to watch.
It's a good point. I actually think that there should, on the baseball side, the scoring matrix was not advanced enough, and it was somewhat problematic. It's too home run heavy, and it would have been more interesting to have more use for more starting pitchers and more relief pitchers, because watching a pitcher is literally the best part of the Sorare like interactive experience. Your pitcher is, on the mound for hopefully 7 innings, 6 innings. They're involved with every play when they're on the mound, and it's the most fun part of watching.
I've not watched one of my pitchers this entire season.
Oh, okay.
Granted, I own a lot of Cardinals pitchers, and by the third inning, they've already gave up like 6 or 7 runs, so that might have something to do with it.
That Wainwright 9.0 ERA didn't help.
200 wins. 200 wins. Ooh. So this was like all the DFS guys laughed about this idea that Germs got. Add defense to baseball. I like it.
Like defensive stats?
Yeah. You have to be careful, and you have to know baseball to be able to do it. Like we saw in MLBC, they added putouts as a stat in MLBC, which, what was it? The catchers were just racking up putouts from strikeouts and stuff. Like it was totally absurd. Or there were first basemen, obviously, were just getting tons and tons of putouts. So like that's probably a stat you don't want to put in there. But like turn double plays, catchers that throw guys out, like make catchers. Like you talked about making catchers more like useful. Well, if a catcher throws somebody out, give them a few points.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Well,
definitely.
That plus like a lot of the tier 3, tier 4 field positions are there because they're not hitters; they're defensive players. Well, I mean they can hit okay, but Golden Gloves and stuff like that, right?
See, I don't think routine defensive plays should be added. Like you said, it's boring. But Statcast can tell if a play had like a less than 10% chance of being made, and in those situations, like that should be worth some points. Like a web gem.
Plus,
I mean, you could get really. I don't even think you need to get like that complex with it. Like outfield assists.
Oh sure, those two.
Throwing someone out, turning a double play. I guess you kind of need to find ways to give everyone like an opportunity to. But I don't know that's a decent start. DD Sorare, never understood why defensive stats weren't introduced from the start. Prefer it. I don't know.
Vice 91, it's got a good point here too. I didn't like how they increased the relief pitcher's appearance. I mean, yeah, it made them a little more useful, but it's so painful when they just don't come in like a 3 or 4 game weekend. Oh, it's the worst.
Yeah.
Or
even like they come in and they blow a save, but they still get like 8 points or something. It's like that doesn't seem right. They strike out 2, but give up 2 runs or something.
Is that old Vladimir Tarasenko? Is that?
Oh, 91. It's got to be Vladdy.
I don't know, like V Ice, like Vladdy Ice 91.
That's a good pickup from you. Speaking of which, hockey, right? It doesn't have a ball. There's no ball in this sport, so it's kind of a callback to my
Max
um,
Jones.
point earlier. But hockey should definitely be a so rare sport.
Did you guys play hockey growing up in St. Louis?
I played roller hockey just with like friends and like in like non-competitive recreational leagues.
Organized ice hockey is on my bucket list of things to do, but Andy knows my injury history, and it just wouldn't work out. So no, unfortunately, I've done a couple stick and pucks where, I went and you're just fucking around and I can't skate backwards and all these guys start throwing their sticks in the middle of ice and it's like, what's going on? What's going on here? It's like, oh, we're scrimmaging? Fuck. And I'm playing all these collegiate like guys home from college playing hockey. I'm like, this is a bad time. But, I was giving some quips on the bench, so
sign Jim up for men's league ice hockey. Got it.
I would try my best. I almost did it like 4 or 5 years ago, but ice time in St. Louis, like after they closed one of the big hockey plexes, ice time is so tough that
Yeah.
the league I was going to join, it was like, oh, we play Thursday and Sunday nights at midnight, and I was like,
Those ice rinks just like lose money nonstop. Like the Centene Ice Arena just defaulted on its loan debt.
Oh, let's go.
Like I know everybody doesn't care to hear about that, but like we just recently built a new ice arena for the St. Louis Blues, and they're already defaulting on the debt for it. The city is, so wonderful. DD Sorare, negative points for errors too. I love it. Love it. Bob Flynn says that more points for stolen bases and less points for Cardinals players. Hate it. We got a Ducks fan over here. So
yeah, I would
nothing about hockey.
I would enjoy Sorare hockey. It would probably be my second favorite.
You're not like a big LA Kings fan or anything down there, Sam?
Not since Gretzky left.
Oh, Wanye?
It's been a while.
Little Wanye?
Yeah. That was a trade to St. Louis, right? Or did we get him from? Yeah, no, we got him from LA, right? I don't know.
I live with some guys who were hockey fans in college, and one of them was an Avalanche fan, and then we had some Sharks fans. So, and they seem to lose in the playoffs every year in like the most heartbreaking way in like the late '90s. It was great. So, what about NBA? Did you liked it more than baseball?
Real quick, Bob Flynn said if they do hockey, will they make a Canadian office?
Oh, it's Bob. Hey, Bob.
Yeah. Ottawa or Montreal?
Yeah, it's basically French. It's basically a French office.
Yeah. So what was the question regarding basketball? What made me like it?
Yeah.
The sweats. I thought it was really fun on the last, like, and literally that's the only time I would really watch. But the last day of the game week, when I had a guy going and I had a lineup that was not dead, I think that is as fun as watching a player in soccer. And truthfully, I didn't play super rare. I just played rare. So I didn't have a ton of like money on the line or anything. Like most of the cards like at stake were, I don't know, not worth a ton, but it was still a really fun watch.
Yeah, I ended up going rare and limited. Decided not to jump in supers at the beginning and decided to kind of feel it out a bit, especially after baseball. Baseball's a pretty large purchase last summer. And the gameplay just wasn't my cup of tea in the sense that it didn't make me want to go for super rares. So
in a sense that it's just like basketball and like terrible to watch in general.
It's funny. I hadn't actually watched that much basketball in years, and I watched quite a bit of basketball this year. I did enjoy watching it. I did enjoy when I did have a sweat. It was rare, but when you did have one, it was really good. But no, the whole kind of like the way that the gameplay worked, it was so grindy and it was different. I didn't get attachments to any guys unless there was like a 3-week period where like that guy had good matchups, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Going back to watching the game in the sweats, all of the little things like noticing that your player passed it to a guy, now you're rooting for him to make his shot. Like
Yeah.
there were so many like little things in the Matrix, and the Matrix isn't even that like complex, but there were a lot of hooks that made me want to watch the games and stay engaged and interested.
So I didn't make my own lineups at the beginning of the season. I was like, I don't have time for this. I like went into a partnership with Alex, and I'm like, here's my gallery. Tell me who to keep, who to sell, and make my lamps for me each week, and we'll compensate you. But it quickly became obvious that you don't want to sell anybody. You want to get a really wide gallery, and I built a pretty wide gallery.
Yeah.
And it was by the end. I mean, I ended up the year with over 130 rares, 140 rares, and same thing, over 110 limiteds. Bought a bunch for the playoffs, but I got totally screwed. I basically, went all in on Bucks and Celtics.
Oh, go
and
Bucks!
though
You're the deer.
I needed
Sam, what do you mean you got screwed? You got a backpack out of the deal.
Yeah, I mean, I spent over an ETH on cards though for the playoffs, and I didn't win a single card. I won one card the whole playoffs. I mean, I needed one thing to happen. I needed one of my teams to make it to the finals. I had 3 of the top 4, or I needed the Nuggets to not make it, and both of those things came true. So
in the end, you got a backpack out of the deal, so
Yeah.
worth it.
I got a crappy backpack.
Playoffs.
Go Bucks!
But I just bought a bunch of NBA cards too for the collections. A couple this week. Bought
I
like
didn't
40
think
NBA
about that.
cards. Yeah, I swooped them up.
Hmm.
All just sorted by cheapest rares and limiteds, and looked at who I had, 6, 7 cards for. I'm like, okay, 2 or 3 more cards gets me to 3%, and went in and bought a bunch of them.
So, does it make? I guess it does make sense to build out collections there, doesn't it?
I mean, I think it's the same in all 4 sports, in limited and especially in limited, in rare, in all 3 sports. And rare,
It's like, what do you know?
in limited, you gotta have collections. In rares, they're very important, and then super rares and unique, they're less important, except for thresholds.
Or unless you have an entire Liverpool unique set.
Thresholds which only apply to one sport. Oh.
As of now.
Yeah.
No, they announced that basketball's getting something, right? ETH rewards.
Just ETH rewards, but not thresholds.
Mm.
We'll find out from Kate Trump
on Thursday. Yeah.
I mean, the ETH rewards were nice in baseball, but a little bit too small.
Do you guys think they should have thresholds in the other 2 sports?
In some form of fashion, they should have some beat the game mode. That's what the threshold is to me. Because you just gotta get people coming back. You gotta get a little taste.
What if I told you they made a new beat the game mode and it was for SO coins?
I'd play it. I'd collect some
Don't get me
coins.
started on SO coins.
No, let's get you started on SO coins. Tell us how you feel.
Buy some boosters. Oh, do you want to skip your boosts? Oh, hell yeah, I want to skip my boosts.
I've skipped all my boosts.
I feel like a threshold in baseball would be great, but a little more difficult because L15 is a lot more complicated, for various reasons.
I mean, they wouldn't have to build it around that, right?
But I don't think you could just do a straight beat this score, because then it would be it'd probably be too easy with the best players, right? You
why
have
is it
them or
more
you don't.
complicated though? I guess just because players can spike much easier in MLB.
Have you ever looked at the L15s of these guys, Jimmer? The pitchers always have really high scores.
That's not like, okay, that's complicated. Sure. Yes. Okay. I agree. But I'm just
maybe
saying,
it's not. I don't know. You're adding them all up, right?
Like L15 is an average. Like your average, like your best player should average higher. Your worst player should average lower. It should shouldn't be that much different. When you
Yeah,
get
I mean,
when you get into pitching, I think I agree.
there's also a relation between how many people are on your team and kind of like how complicated it gets. Like a 240 with 5 players is one thing, but trying to hit, number X with 7 or 8 players is just a lot more kind of variables, a lot more work. I'm not sure it'd be fun. It'd be like you put your first 6 guys in, then you find one guy who fits the last one instead of like a more cohesive team, is what I would imagine.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, there would be so many like cheat codes. I feel like pitchers coming back from things. Guy was on
Playing in Colorado.
especially right now, like
But
this
isn't that
time of the
fun?
year with
That's kind of fun
September
though.
call-ups.
Yeah, that's okay.
The old cheat codes are fun.
Yeah, and you know what? Honestly, a lot of them probably aren't even minted, so maybe they wouldn't be that cheat codey. I don't know.
Oh, is that Cody cheat?
I think so. I think so. You guys got anything else on this? Moving along.
Do you guys have any Rainmaker sweats going on right now? Because daddy's
Do you really?
no.
I'm trying to remember how the NBA gameplay worked exactly because I remember it's been like 3 months since I last talked about it, and I remember I didn't like it, and I had a good idea that I floated around for how to fix it. But now I can't even remember how it really worked. It's been that long. And I went to, before the show, I went to go look in my last lineups, and they've taken them down. You can't look at your past game weeks anymore.
That sucks.
How
I guess I could go to
how
Sorare.
NBA worked?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember exactly like what the numbers were as far as how much, and what my biggest issue was with it.
It was the best performance of any of the games during the game week. Contender, you didn't have a player that was you could effectively MVP and reduce to 0. And there was what was the cap?
That's what I'm
Like
trying to remember what the cap
like
was.
120 or something, right?
It was like 100 or 120. Yeah.
Somebody in chat should know.
And
I think it was
then
120.
and then you had MVP where your MVP was worth 0 points and the cap was a little bit higher. It was like
Yeah.
I think it was like 110 versus like 120 or something like that. I don't know. It wasn't that much different in the cap. It was the MVP player. Yeah, 110 and 120. Germ, come out.
Hey, Jim.
Oh, come on, Germ.
So basically, what it came down to was like each week you either had players who were good matchups and were expected to beat their their L15, or you didn't. And it wasn't obviously about just like playing who you want, playing your favorite players, but that had numerous side effects, which basically took away the aspects that are so great about football and didn't happen in baseball, but you do have in soccer, or you didn't have in basketball, but you do have in baseball. Like example, there's no point in scouting, right? I mean, who cares if you buy a rookie who is going to be great in 2 years? Like, and that's a huge part of Sorare.
Wait, why does that not matter?
Because it doesn't really matter if what their future score is going to be, unless they're going to be MVP, quality, or unless they're going to be, one of the top 4 or 5 guys. It doesn't really matter like how good they do down the line.
Yeah.
Right. It just matters how good they're going to do the next 2 games or 3 games that week in comparison to how they've done the previous 10 games.
I think that's a really good point. You're either a superstar and you're worth a lot, or you're a cheat code for the week and you're worth in comparison, you're worth a lot for that week. Everybody else just kind of falls into a middle pile.
Yeah, so you had some very rare, scouting where like a guy's injured and he's going to come back and be just in the starting role and be very good, or you have the guy who could maybe be an MVP, and potentially be worth something because he's he can use him as an MVP. So that was a huge issue with how the game worked. But baseball and soccer don't have those problems, right? You can scout guys who are rookies now, who are learning the game, getting their scores up, who could be exciting in a couple years. The big other thing that I didn't like was that if your guy has a good game in game 1, there's no point in watching him the rest of the week because he's probably not going to beat his best ball. And it just felt like lots of users just like, oh, I don't have anybody great this week, or I don't have a really good any good matchups, like I'm out of it. Like they're just disinterest. What I thought they should do that would be interesting is that instead of, when you play in rare contender or rare champion, instead of just being thrust into one, big, huge pool with everybody, you get randomly put into a pool with like 10 or 15 other people. And then there's, rewards for how you do within that pool. And that would basically, it would make it much more interesting to in the sense that you could play players who aren't the best matchups because you'd have a chance. Otherwise, you have no chance, right? You might get put in a pool where it's like, you could be pretty competitive, even though only one or two of your guys has a good matchup that week, and it's not, every single buddy is 3 green A's on Sorare data.
Pick score.
I have always kind of liked the idea of a head-to-head mode of some sort. And it could be in any of the 3 sports. I have no freaking clue how it would even work. But there's got to be a format where you could do head-to-head, similar maybe even to like the cups that Sorare used to do, where, hey, we're starting it this week, and you submit a lineup, and we're doing the Jupiler League Cup, whatever. And,
yeah, I think it would work in any of the cap modes in any sports.
Yeah.
One of the things that enables is ability to, because one of the things about fantasy sports is not even just rooting for your players, but rooting against the people that are going to beat you. And in the like giant leaderboard of everybody playing, it's just so hard to like really figure out who you're rooting against. It's just like, well, I hope Opta doesn't fuck me, and well, there's the Sorare data enables you to look at that better, but it's kind of like playing Unique, right? Unique, people kind of have an idea of who they're rooting against throughout the game week.
For sure.
I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer. Like if they have 100, let's say they have 100 rewards for a contender that week, and you get thrust into a basically a league, a little mini competition with 10 other people, and whoever comes in first, gets a good reward, and second gets something.
Do you like that better than the long format?
The long format currently going on Sorare Football?
Yeah.
For basketball, I would like that better as like the every week type of competition than a long form of basketball.
See, I almost feel like I think the format will always be the format, but they may add new components and new modes, like I don't know, either a long format or a head-to-head mode, or I think that there's room to add those things on, but I think that the core game should probably stay the same.
Yeah, I mean, this comment from DD to Rare hits on the head. NBA needs greater variety of comps in order to make decisions where to put the best cards week to week.
Giannis.
I mean, it's also kind of weird, but the most fun I had was with the weeklies, the no cap weeklies, where you could just play your best players. But that's only applies to a few different types of users who happen to have 5 of the top 10 guys.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like there's enough users though that can at least feel like they can compete in those modes. I mean, you don't need, the 5 best players to play in no cap. Obviously, is it ideal? Yes.
I mean, we figured it out with Alex at some point. I mean, you needed 5 of the best 12 guys basically to have any chance. Is what it came out to, I think. But I mean, this was a really weird.
And you probably had to have Luka.
Before he got injured.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it helped, but no, you could do it with numerous combinations of some of the best 10 players.
Matt Stafford just threw a pick. Oh God.
So what's this NFL sweat you got going on over there? You've been talking about the LA Rams.
Oh, I was just JK and LOL. I don't have any rainmakers.
Well, do you have like a fantasy league or something that you got?
Oh, I do have a fantasy matchup, but I'm just a Rams fan, so I'm just tuning in on the side here.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, that is disgusting.
Do you like these Bengals uniforms?
I do like the Bengals uniforms.
They're not
Sam,
bad.
are you a Rams fan too?
No, I'm a Detroit Lions fan.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Because of the Rams.
Let's go Rams.
Yeah,
Ram
the
it.
Rams and the Raiders left the Southern California area in the 90s, and I'm like, I need a team, and Barry Sanders was the man. I'm like, the
Was the
Lions are
man.
my team. They're
Mhm.
also the closest colors to the Dodgers.
I always liked the Lions growing up because we would play Madden at my grandpa's house. Like me, my uncle, my dad, a bunch of us would just like sit around and play Madden. And Barry Sanders was like a lot of fun on that game. He was like the fastest. He had the juke button, like was always spinning out of tackles. So yeah, huge fan. Yeah.
The oh, Bob's got a quote. Those comps need to make me want to buy stars that are not MVPs, i.e. Lillard, Mr. Ball, and Harden.
See, that's why I'm a fan of the partition, mini leagues, because then you can realistically play the players you want to play and still have a chance. You could have one or two of like the big boys and make a team around them. And,
Yeah.
even if they weren't, an amazing matchup that week, you still have a chance because you're only trying to beat 8 or 9 other people.
Well, I think the problem would be the frustration of continuously getting matched with the guy who has 5 MVPs.
Right.
And he's playing them.
No, you still have it. It's still the same mode. It's still MVP. It's still contender or the MVP mode. You still have to make within your salary cap.
Bob's point is that he's got his MVPs, and when he wins Lillard, he can't do anything with them.
Right, because he doesn't fit well into that MVP lineup because he's already got Luka or Giannis. How does he fit Harden in there?
Yeah. Well, at least that's how I interpreted his point. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, your gallery composition, if you're playing in just 2 or 3 competitions, is basically, one MVP and one kind of top level guy, and then you don't need a lot more top level guys. It is a weird aspect of how the gameplay works.
I just do whatever the algorithm tells me to do.
I mean, you could also play, like 2 top level guys and then not have a 5th player, which wasn't really viable for most of the league this year because you had to have that 10 L10 10 guy that got 40 to have a chance. But if you're playing again and just 8 or 9 or 10 people, you could probably get away with it some of the time.
Yeah, I mean, typically when I did well in those comps, it was because I had just a low cap guy that was plus 15, plus 20, something like that on RotoWire, which would have been the perfect opportunity to sell those guys because they were worth like 10x what they should be worth. Because I guess somebody was either hurt or they were going to get benched or whatever. And I'm not selling. You know what? I want to compete.
Let's go.
Capital compete, baby.
Yeah, I mean,
I will go down with this.
I have a huge gallery with limiteds and rare. Let's see what happens. The one overwhelming consensus that I think the community was saying was it was a grind, and that's not exactly what you want to be hearing month 5 into the season.
Yeah,
Bob might be right here. Increase the cap on champ,
or just create another one, right?
Ooh.
Make a
champ 150.
Yeah.
Cap 240, cap 270. I mean, we're already kind of used to that, right?
Yeah. I think there's a sweet spot for the number of competitions, and it feels like we're ish around there in soccer, and we're not close in NBA or baseball.
I almost feel like there's too many sometimes.
Yeah, maybe a little bit too many in soccer. Not sure.
Yeah.
As somebody who enters in,
I don't know. I mean, I still think it's manageable. I think once it becomes unmanageable, that's when people are like, I can't do this anymore, and they feel like they're missing out because they can't optimize or play everything, so they just sell up.
It's borderline unmanageable for me. It's getting there. It's pretty close. I spend a lot of time on lineups.
To be fair,
that's why I said I think it's like a kind of like it's close. It's like a sweet spot almost.
To be fair, Sam, you play all the limited, all of the semi-pro, pro, all of that shit, and you don't need to be playing all that.
Yeah, and I'm starting to use the algo button. I hate to admit it.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, for the limited,
you pay for that. You pay for that star membership, baby. Use it.
Yeah.
I begrudgingly hit that button.
I still
Yeah.
don't trust it for any real lineups. I still see too much weird shit. Like I pushed it the other day just to kind of see what it thought my best all-star rare lineup was, and it captain to forward against two defenders from the same team.
I'll often see what it will do for my best lineups, but I don't use it for my best lineup. But for like, my 8th and 9th limited teams, like boom,
Right.
slam that button. We'll see. Just started doing it.
They need to embrace the old World Cup, the old So Rare Managers World Cup, and create some clans. And you go into clans and you take the all-star rare lineup or whatever score of the 4 people in your clan, and you're head to head with somebody. You have a bracket leaderboard. Very nice.
But doesn't Blackpool just
Then
end
you
up
then you get
wiping the floor?
then you get a shout out from PK. Shakira shaking her ass in the background.
Yeah, I mean, as Bob mentions, the issue with more competition is more rewards oversupply. That gets me to my other, high horse of no more crowded rewards. Bring on the ETH rewards, but we don't have to go there.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, we could do a whole show on that.
Yeah, next time.
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm ready. I'm ready for it.
You want to do it right now?
Yeah, I did.
I mean, we're
Well,
already 61 minutes in, but let's have it out. I still have to set lineups tonight, guys. So
me too.
Yeah, me too.
A few. I did get some
yeah.
done today.
How about this? How about this to kind of like detour us a little bit? Do you guys have any hot plays for the week that you're excited about? Like, players, matchups, anything like that? What's the surface to air missile lock of the week?
Let me go to my trusty lineup builder screen and see who I have.
He's gonna push
going.
the algo button.
Let me push the button. Let me push this button first.
I'm thinking Osman redeemed himself. I think I'm gonna
Ooh.
stick that guy in All-Star Rare Pro this week. My super rare. Yeah. And I'm feeling confident there.
Okay. Trip and B does something kind of similar on his show. He's got like the locks of the week, the goal, the assist, and the clean sheet. So we'll go with an outfield player and a goalkeeper that you think is going to get a clean sheet.
An obvious one or more of a sneaky one?
Somebody that's in your gallery that you're gonna put in your best lineup and say he's going to get a clean sheet this week.
All right, here's a question for you. Either you can answer. True or false? The Juniper League has 18 teams in it this year.
True.
I'm gonna just to fight Jimmer on this one. I'm gonna say false.
It's false. They went down to 16. So they lost 3. They lost 3, but they gained 1. Can you name the one who they're gaining? Who they gained? Can you name the new team this year?
RWDFH or something. It's like four letters.
RWD Molenbeek.
Yeah, that one.
Nice. It's Racing White Daring Molenbeek. And this week they're playing Union at Union, and so I'm gonna go with Morris for the clean sheet.
I
got him lined up in cap 270. I was actually trying to sell him because I won a Nardi and I was gonna keep him, and I'm like, nah, it's a good matchup.
You know who doesn't keep clean sheets ever?
Nardi.
Old Nardi.
Nard dog.
I know.
Oh, Nard.
But Morris is worth more, and I was trying to get rid of him, but I'm like, I'm gonna actually use him this week, and Nardi too, for that matter. But
yeah, Jim.
So he's mine.
Yeah.
Come on.
What's the question?
We need your outfield player of the week and your clean sheet.
Oh, I got 2 outfield players.
No, that's not how we do this. You get 1.
Okay, well, it's got to be João Felix.
I get it.
He's just posting up scores. Last 3, 67, 92, 77. But my other one, and my real one, is coming back from a couple of yellow cards, PSV defender, 80% chance on win, 52% chance clean sheet. Olivier Buscagli is coming back.
He might not even play. Like, he might not
Yeah.
even start.
That's the lock. That is the lock.
Wait, so you're going to go with a defender for the clean sheet?
I'm a sucker for defenders. I think they used to be better than they are, but you know. No clean sheet. Memo Ochoa, obviously. Oh.
Who's he play for now?
Salernitana.
Oh, that Serie A
Salernitana.
team.
Yeah. He's not gonna get a clean sheet, by the way. It's gonna be Buscagli.
Yeah, my clean sheet for the week is Camilo Vargas, of course. They're playing like the last place team at home, which means he'll probably concede 3 because that's how Liga MX works. And then I don't know. I got there's like too many like softballs. Like I could say Joey Veerman, right? But that's not
too
not
easy.
fun. Yeah, that's not fun. Let's go with I don't own him, but I'm gonna go with that Caicedo guy on Atlas that just keeps scoring goals, and Dylan absolutely hates him. Shout out to Dylan. I'm gonna go with that guy. I don't own him, but we're going with him.
Did you watch the strategy show today, the SD strategy show?
I didn't.
There was a point where they were discussing, have you ever watched a team that just had your goalkeeper? And is there a worse thing in the world?
I mean, I do it all the time.
Yeah, I do too. Both Laird and PSC were like, no, never. And I'm like, do you play Sorare?
Well, okay. Here's why I'm kind of lying a little bit. I stack almost all of my like goalkeepers. So in most situations, I'm watching like Camilo Vargas and Anderson Santamaria. So in a way, I'm watching my goalkeeper because like if he keeps a clean sheet, they both could do well.
I mean, I will agree it sucks balls. And I also will say that I almost never do it unless it's one of the overwhelmingly favorite guys to get a clean sheet, like Ter Stegen or someone like that. But that being said, it does happen.
You also, it's like the Monday game. You need a clean sheet for a lineup.
It's better than Friday, right?
Yeah, the worst the Friday game.
You know what I equate it to? I equate it to betting the under. Like on any sporting event, betting the under, because you're like rooting for them not to score, not to do anything. I need a defensive stop every single time. Miss the field goal.
Okay, here's a question for you. Regardless of if it's gonna, not saying if it's gonna get you an awesome T0 or a podium, forget about that. But what is like your most exciting play in Sorare? Like, what's your most exciting thing in the scoring matrix to watch?
When a midfielder assists one of my forwards.
The
double decisive, the DD Sorare.
All right. It's pretty good. I was going to say when my goalkeeper blocks a penalty kick.
Ooh.
That's pretty good. It's hard to beat that adrenaline rush.
I remember being in Dallas with Maxime and watching, and all he was hyping was a defender passing it over the half field line. And he's just going fucking nuts every time. He's like, that's what you guys should care about. Defenders passing it over the half line. He's just going crazy at every pass over the half line. So it's like, pay attention to that now.
Literally a pass, like six yards over the line. The dude was losing his mind. Yeah. Long pass into the opposition, baby. He was loving it. So,
I mean, what's that? Is that a point?
Something, yeah.
Yeah,
I think. He was saying any pass that goes over the half line is considered a long pass into the opposition.
What do you think of the new cap mode? Is it easier or harder?
I don't know yet.
Not enough data.
It seemed easy this week, but
yeah, I thought I was gonna like pump all my high XP cards in there, but I haven't really changed my behavior yet.
What's funny is I thought it would be much harder in super rare and unique and easier in limited and rare. And I freaking made the super rare and unique thresholds and did not make them in, actually I did make it limited, but not in rare. but I think it'll be much harder and super rare and unique for me. We'll see.
It was easy this week because I put Bruno in there and captained him, and he just popped off for a 100. So that
Yeah.
makes things quite easy. Go Bruno.
Yeah.
Don't
Did you
talk
have
about
any
Bruno.
guys come either through the transfer window or through the first month of play, like who were like previously irrelevant, who became like just bangers?
TBD, Chucky Lozano, maybe not. We'll see.
Oh, I'm gonna have to check out the old classic players moves.
Can you share your screen? Will it let you?
I can, but then you might see some others.
Um,
Yeah, I can share my screen.
I don't think it. I think it just shows the tab. So I think you're good.
No, I'm just kidding.
He's got the porn up.
Ah! Oh God. Share screen.
A
Sharing is
little
easiest with at least 2 monitors.
known Sorare data page. It's an unadvertised page. You have to actually type the URL in, but if you know the secret code, you can get to this page. Maybe.
Yeah, this is.
He's gonna
Can
zoom
you
in
see
for
it?
us.
Oh, I gotta
Barely.
zoom. Really?
Oh, there we go. That looks maybe a little better.
You can't see that?
Now I can.
We're past 100%. We're at 150. Okay. So one of your more basic pages from the UI, however, secret, you cannot get there unless you know the URL, which is players-moves. And this is probably going to be gone tomorrow now because, you
Yeah.
know, now people are going to know about it.
Oh, look at that!
But-
I didn't know that Brahim went to Saudi.
Oh, yeah. But
That's crazy.
if you're logged in, you just click this little checkbox, show only players in your gallery. And then Mr. Pinecone here, as I call him, went from Nottingham Forest under 21s into Olympiacos CFP. So this is where I was going to go to see if there were any bangers that moved.
Oh, Big
Onuachu,
Paul.
he
Big
scored
Paul.
today. He scored today.
Nice.
I assume that's just like a massively Southampton got relegated, right? So I mean, like, he was gonna smash probably at Southampton, right?
He didn't. So he was still playing there to start, and he didn't really do much.
Gotcha.
Oh, this dude
Oh, I do remember him.
went to the Michelin Men.
He was at Anderlecht way back in the day.
Yeah, and then he had a bad injury. Ba-da-da. Oh, Genie went to Saudi. Ba-da-da-da-da.
Jetty, look at Jetty. He's in some Turkish team now.
Yeah.
I'm looking through mine right now.
Oh my God, Steph Peters, my man. Oh, what a fuck this team, dude. Steph Peters used to be a banger.
Who is that? Petro
What
Eisden.
the hell? What the hell?
Hmm.
Am I still sharing that tab?
Dude, yeah, you are. Yuma Abata. Look at that. Your boy.
Oh God.
He's playing with the
see-
Japanese under 23s.
Yeah, you know he's gonna come good. Just wait for it.
He's the Gemmer version of Fred Emmings.
Yeah, we have a little bet who's gonna make the first so rare score after Yuma already has. After he already has. It does tell, like, it has them. This is the international break, so it has people going to the old international teams. But
Right.
oh, Yarmi went to Valencia. Didn't know that.
I think when people have issues with Opta correctly, like categorizing their players, I think they can kind of check here and have a little bit of an understanding, like why and when their players get moved.
Did you guys know that the Prince, Albert Lakanga, went to Luton Town?
I didn't.
I did know that. Has he played yet for them?
I don't know. God, I love this page. Oh, that's why Mr. Niles isn't clapping anymore. He's not. So,
So, Sam, you brought this up. What are your smasher moves that happened?
I mean, I had a just sitting in the middle of nowhere in my gallery, James Madison,
Mm,
and he's been killing it.
yeah,
Yeah, so
absolutely smashing.
that one's pretty sweet. A rare. There was also, I mean, I won like Cap 270 or Cap 240 super rare like beginning of summer, and I won a Nunez unique. And I mean, I know he's not going to start regularly at Manchester, but it's been pretty sweet to have that card.
Yeah.
He helped me get the threshold this week.
what a guy.
Yeah.
All the threshold getters immediately go into a little trophy case. The old so rare card binder.
Yeah.
In honor of me being your first special guest, I made a couple of quick fire questions for you based on
Hold on.
St. Louis stuff and Sorare memes.
Oh
You
my
ready?
God. No, but
Okay. First one, Klaus or Lowen?
I'm a Lowen guy.
just to be different, I'm gonna say
But
Klaus.
but only because of Klaus's injury. God, what a special fella. He looks like he's going to hurt himself while he's trotting on the field.
Just like a light jog, he looks like
Yeah.
he looks like he has rocks in his shoes, and
Yeah.
then B, he just looks like like some kind of wild animal, like a antelope
Yeah.
or something. And I think that's why after he scores, he puts the antlers up. Like he looks like an animal.
When he's running, there's more pigeons out there than like New York City.
I don't know what that
Some
means.
sort of he's so pigeon-toed, that guy, Klaus.
All right.
He's like his gait is just walking over his feet.
Have you told the story about how I sold you the Klaus Super Rare? Was that your first St. Louis City acquisition or your first Super Rare?
It was probably my first super rare, yeah. But
who could have been before him? Because he was announced a year before they started playing.
They bought guys early, and guys like Lowen sat out an entire season with in the Bundesliga to be on the team. Klaus the same, but yeah, no, that was definitely one of the very first St. Louis City cards that I purchased, and it was from Sam. I think I paid it was like 0.4 0.25.
I think it was, yeah. But ETH it might have been when ETH was more. I'm not sure.
I'm sure it was.
Yeah. Okay. Bruges boy or gentleman?
Ooh.
Bruges.
I'm a gentleman.
Bruges boy.
All right, Black. Hornkamp or Fred?
Oh, you didn't want to say jizz?
Yeah, I mean, the answer is definitely. I mean, you see what's on the wall right here.
I would have said Sven.
That's why I didn't ask Sven. I knew Sven would win. That's why it's more of a decision.
Sven or Jizz, it's Sven, but man, I mean, love them both. Beautiful boys. And did you see his goal this weekend? I mean, what a guy.
I missed it.
Golazo.
This is also another Black question, but maybe we need to figure out one for Jimmer. Bigger disappointment, Nadia Bamiri or Kai Havertz?
Or Leon Bailey.
I have Amiri and Havertz.
Oh, okay. Then you can answer too.
I had no expectations for Amiri. So
honestly,
I think unfortunately I'm finally coming around to the fact that Kai Havertz is just a lazy boy, and I don't know if he has it in him.
I don't think he's lazy at all. I think he works hard. I just don't think he's that good.
I think he's
like lazy. He works, he presses, he
plays lackadaisical.
I mean, he looks lackadaisical for sure.
Yeah.
But I think it's Amiri, to be honest, because honestly, I thought that he was like a workaholic. I thought that he was like the motor with that team 2 years ago, and I thought that he was just going to be a guy that wanted to play. And now I kind of think he's a guy that maybe doesn't want to play that much.
I don't want to bring up the graph, but for the viewers out there, if there's any, you and I both bought his super rare like
I'll
at
bring it
peak
up.
value, like right next to each other about 2 winters ago or 3 winters ago. And oh my God, he's been completely useless, except for one amazing goal.
Nothing was better than those corners. Was that like the back heel goal you're
The
talking
back
about?
heel goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like we both bought him for a godly sum. I remember I needed a champ super rare bad. I got to be right around there. Yeah.
I bought him for 1 ETH. Sam, let's see here. Yeah, some
Oh,
old
he's
school
going
Sorare
higher.
names on here.
Doo-doo-doo. Try to find the
Oh, look, Queen
dot.
bought him.
Uh, just a little
Your-
bit less.
Yours wasn't one of those like secret buys where you
It might have been a part of a deal.
yeah.
I'm
Once you're at the
looking it up.
top.
Let's see here.
No.
Yeah, yeah, it was part of a deal, but I was around 1/8.
Yeah. Not great, Bob. Not great.
Nope. Speaking of not great, Bob, John Goodman or John Hamm?
Give me John
Is
Goodman.
John Goodman from St. Louis?
He is.
Like Illinois side, like Belleville.
I'd say John Goodman then.
All right.
That's my. I don't know, that's-
Champ Europe Pro or All Star Rare Pro?
I don't think I've won anything ever in Champ Europe Rare Pro. I play like NBA. I just like, oh, there's a chance.
I'm gonna say Champ Euro Rare Pro just to be different than everybody in the world.
Yeah, I got to say Champ
Yeah.
Euro Pro too.
Got to be a hipster on that one.
MLS or La Liga MX?
Ooh. I'll go with MX.
MLS, easy clap.
All
I
right.
think we answered different for every answer.
Hey, remember
Frozen cut-
remember when you wouldn't buy MLS cards? Like you were anti MLS, Jimmer.
Me?
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
first
that's why.
MLS's back tournament was so fun. Oh, when they
Yeah.
launched those cards.
Peak so rare.
That was,
I remember
oh,
buying. I remember buying that first Christmas, like two 5-card packs for like $5, and then I had like Fagundes in one of them. They're like these are like $2 cards. They
my
ended up
first
being.
purchase was Ben Schweddy.
Oh,
I paid 0.2 ETH for a guy that never played a game.
Wow, who was it?
The guy that had the concussion with Minnesota. What's his name? He won like MLS Defender of the Year in like 2019.
Oh yeah, that's right.
What's his name?
Oh, I can't remember.
I still have his card.
I remember getting.
Opara?
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
I just
I paid-
googled Defender of the Year 2019. Well done on remembering that.
I paid 0.4 for some FC Dallas forward who was totally banging and then like got hurt and then got sent back to Europe. Like his Xander Sek or something. I can't remember his name. It started with a Z. Oh, it was so painful. But I have the first Ladero too. I have the one of 100 Ladero.
Collector's item.
Yeah.
Oh, the big head.
The big heads, yeah.
I still own a lot of weird MLS cards. Like I have Alejandro Romero, who I think goes by like Kaku or something, and he plays in like the Saudi league now.
It was in making that rookie set. A lot of those guys have fanned out to weird places over the years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, frozen custard or St. Louis style ribs?
Ribs.
Ribs.
Okay.
No, we did it.
Is that a thing though in St. Louis, frozen custard?
Yeah.
Ted Drews.
Yeah, Ted
Do you
Drews.
eat it year round?
Oh yeah.
Sure.
I mean, we shouldn't, but
Is it? What is it? Is it like custard that's like just like hard?
do you know? I mean, custard. They just add egg to the ice cream, basically.
Okay.
It's like creamier.
It's creamy.
Fitness boost or popularity curse?
I'm a fitness guy, man. I like the fitness idea.
I would say popularity curse only selfishly because I don't buy a lot of the larger, bigger name players. So
But it hurts their
Logical.
value, right?
Very logical.
yeah,
All right. Clearance off the line or last man tackle?
Codal.
I gotta agree. I love the clearance off the line, especially when you can get like a double. You know, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
get two in a
But
row.
They're
last
both
man
kind of
tackle's
like,
pretty
well,
last man
is
tackle's
that gonna
pretty
count?
exciting.
Is that gonna count?
I like last man tackle better because there's some buildup. You can kind of see it potentially coming. Clearance off the line is generally just like, whoa, happened out of nowhere. Was that a codal? And you're going to Opta and you're like looking, on FOTMob or whatever. But last man tackle.
Last man tackle's equally subjective though, because I've seen some really weird shit. Like Tim Ream, I was sweating a Tim Ream game because that's how disgusting I am. And he was the last man back, and he legit toe poked the ball away, and then got on the other end of it, and it was a last man tackle. And to me, like it was just like I don't know. It did not seem like I wouldn't have called it a tackle, but Opta did. He was the
Yeah.
last man back.
Oh, remember the Angulo last man tackle that wasn't counted? Oh. Okay, I got a couple left here.
Oh boy.
BCM or 59th minute defender sub?
Mm.
I would take the BCM.
I mean, I hate
Well, it's
both
like,
of these
which-
things.
Yeah, which one do you like more?
However you want to interpret the question.
Yeah.
I feel like in most situations, if my defender subs in the 59th minute, I'm completely dead. But at least with a BCM, he's still on the pitch. He can score a goal. So give me the BCM.
Yeah. You also are like, hey, is that my guy getting a BCM? Wow, great positioning. You did great to get there. It's
Yeah.
like we're thinking about Darwin Nunez right now.
Kai Havertz. But
Yeah, but if your guy subs out in 59, you're like, well, can I even play him next week? I don't know.
Okay, Alba Pujols or Mark McGuire?
Pujols.
Okay.
It's very easy.
Eastman or Cash Boy?
give me the
Oh,
ETH. Give me the ETH.
I think I'd be. Although I haven't activated my Cash wallet, just from the question, I would say Cash Boy.
All right. Okay, last ones for Jimmer. Assuming everyone is healthy, Salah or TAA for the next 6 weeks?
They can't keep a clean sheet to save their fucking lives. Salah's in pretty good form right now. I'd say Salah.
All right. Okay, Black. Assuming everyone is healthy for the next 6 weeks, Kane or Messi?
Oh my god. I like that champion Europe utility, so give me Kane.
Fair enough. That's all I got. You know what I
I
call
love it.
those?
I thought they were brilliant questions. I love them.
You know what I call them? Surface to air missiles.
Love it.
Very good. I want to try to keep this to an hour every week, but we love you so much, Sam, that we went all the way to 90 minutes. But I'm going to put a wrap on this. Jimmer, are we back Thursday or not back Thursday?
It depends. I might be at a little sports bar on vacation. I'll tweet you.
We'll see what happens on Thursday.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to set my lineups, and so
yeah. Good luck with that.
You could be that guy in the
Thanks
bar.
Thanks again for joining, Sam.
Yeah, anytime.
No, I'll take the laptop to the bar. I'm not above that. See ya.